Now something interesting happened the instant we switched to this market, and that is that Guardian fired immediately into this market. And one of the reasons for that is that Guardian actively monitors all of the markets in the background, gathers data, even if you're not actively trading them. So it's picked up that the price has moved by 5 ticks on the favourite in this particular market, and therefore it's put a back order into the market. So all that we have to look forward to now is that the favourite continues to steam in, basically, that we're beginning to see a mini gamble on this particular horse in this particular race. And you can see here that we're moving into profit, and all of that sort of is going rather sweetly at the moment. But you can see here that the price was much higher a second ago than it was before, 60 seconds ago, and therefore BetAngel's got involved and it's backed it as the price has started to come in. And it's done that completely automatically without any of our intervention, and it will continue to do that on the remaining races. So at this point, I mean, you could intervene yourself if you wanted to. If you think the trend has ended, you could actually nip in and close this yourself. It won't affect the automation. In fact, everything will continue as expected. Or you can just leave it and to reach its full maturity in a couple of minutes' time. It's entirely up to you. You can intervene even when automation is running if you wish, as long as your rule is compatible with that. But if we have a look at Guardian, you can see what it's done. If you go to the bottom here, you can see the log here, and you can see it place a back bet. And if we look at the automation, you can see one of one triggers has come into place at that particular moment in time, and you can see the price at which it was backed, and so on and so forth. So yeah, the trade is underway already, and this is going rather well. And in fact, this is coincidental because the first race we've chosen, it's displaying exactly the characteristics that we expected, in that because somebody's backing this horse, more people are backing it, and that creates more momentum, which means that other people think, oh, if somebody else is backing it, I must back it, and so everybody's jumped on board on this one. So like I said, if you wanted to exit at this particular point, you could just click here, but what I'll do is I'll leave it at the moment for the automation to hedge our position, because if you remember, when we were looking at the automation and the steamer bot rule, this was basically going to exit at 10 seconds before the start. So by not exiting at this particular moment, I may lose a little bit more money than if we did decide to exit at this particular point. But I'm going to let this run just so that you can see how BetAngel will exit this automatically. So you can see a little bit of a bounce. It's sort of inevitable that at some point on a steamer you will get a bit of a bounce because the amount of backing exhausts itself. But we're still in a reasonable position. We've earned about sort of 8% or so on our stake here. So if we just hang on for a few seconds, you can see the countdown taking place here. At 10 seconds, it will automatically hedge the position. There you go. So we didn't have to do anything on this particular rule. We just asked it to look for something where the price had moved a fair bit, and if the price had moved, to back it. It backed it, and the price momentum continued on inwards, and then it's hedged the position for us. So a fairly simple rule to implement using the automation that you can see and the historic relative odds condition. So you can see in this next market that we've applied the rule to 3 runners here, and you can see that we've got a drifter on the second favourite, on the third favourite rather, so it hasn't backed that. We've had a nice little steam on the second favourite here, so it has backed that. But you can also see that it has backed the favourite as well, because that's started to move in as well. So you can see it's actually got 2 that it's picked up, and it's obviously ignored this one that has steamed, that has drifted. So you may want to vary the rule. You may want to put stop losses in, so that if one of these positions goes wrong, something else is probably going to be going right, and therefore it stops out one of those positions but still carries on the one that's steaming. And there are many variations that you can do with this particular rule. The only reason I haven't put them in here is simply not to confuse you. I wanted to give you something basic that you could start with, that you can build your own system around. And you can vary the time it gets involved in the market, the number of runners that it does, when it does it, over what period, how many ticks you're looking for, and so on and so forth. But you can see, because we've expanded the rules to 3 runners, we've actually managed to catch 2 of these that have been moving in, and the one that drifted, it's ignored. And you can see it's just hedged our position for us there. So yeah, very useful little rule, give you something to play with. And if we go into the automation area here, I'll just pull that across because it's on a separate screen. We can look at this particular market, and you can see exactly what it's done here and when it did it. So yeah, all fun and games. You can see it didn't trigger on the 3rd, but it did on the 1st and the 2nd. Plenty of options to play with. I suggest you go off and have a play with it. If you're interested in learning more about BetAngel, visit betangel.com and download a free trial today.